So now I'm going to click on this mushroom and try to bring it over here. Obviously it can be placed anywhere there's all empty spaces. That should work, and it does. It should not be able to be placed over multiple items. If I click it where it overlaps with 2 items or 3 items, it just doesn't do anything. But if I place it where it overlaps with 1 item, it works, and I still have the other item in my inventory. Okay, we're going to learn how to do that today. And by that, I mean, welcome back to LewyT Amusement Academy Part 32, Inventory Item Swap. So the idea is, previously, if we were to try to drop an item into the inventory, we have an item in the hand, and we click it in the inventory. If there is another item that's already in the inventory in the spot where we're dropping, it won't work. So the item that we're holding will just stay in the hand, and the item in the inventory will stay in the inventory. Now, the new feature that we're going to add today is that if there is exactly 1 item blocking, then it'll do a simple swap. And so you will be able to drop your item in the spot where you want it to drop, and the item that's already in that inventory will go into your hand, so then you can then move it to somewhere else. This feature was suggested by a friend of the lab. I blame Magnum. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And I agree, it is a worthy topic because it is an intuitive way for an inventory system to work. Okay, so let's look at the code, my favorite part. So the only script we need to change today is the InventoryGrid script, and there's just one section down here in the middle that we're changing. So most of the changes are here in the place item method. So this is a method that was already there. And the first thing we're doing is we're calling another method, which is a new method, can place or swap. So can place or swap needs the item data and the X and Y that you're trying to place it in. This basically replaces the method can place. Now, can place is still used in other scenarios, like buying from a store or picking up from the ground, that sort of thing. But anytime that you are going to directly drop an item into your inventory, it's going to start using this can place or swap from now on. And this is maybe a new type of syntax that I don't believe I've taught before. It is returning a tuple. So the tuple is just 2 separate values are returned by this method. So the first one is a Boolean, just true, false. Can place or swap is the same name as the method. I thought about giving it a different name, but I just couldn't think of a good one that made sense. So it will just say, yes, you can, or no, you can't. And then the other one is the item that is swapping out. So if you are placing this item, and you can place it, but only if you swap out another item, then that swapped out item will be returned here. So we're going to go and we're going to just check in the if statement. Did that work? Is can place or swap true? If it is, then we're going to go ahead and play the drop in item sound. Then we're going to check if the item to swap out is not null, meaning it is a swap, not just a regular placement. Then we're going to clear the grid references for that item, and we're going to set following on that item. That means that item is basically going to be stuck to the mouse. Some of these changes are not real changes, just a comment. This is literally a removal of a comment. And the next real change is this item in hand, instead of becoming null like it did before, it will become the item to swap out. Then if the item in hand is not null, then we set it as last sibling, which just makes it brings it to the front so that it appears in front of other items. And we're going to set the source grid to this. And that's just for keeping the inventory as the grid that it's coming from, because we just dropped an item in. It may have been from another source grid, but once we've swapped, then the source grid is the inventory. This is just updating the debug message of the else clause, and let's just look at that for a minute. That is when can place or swap is false, it will log this error message. Okay, that's the only changes to the place item method. But now let's look at the can place or swap method. This is a new method completely. Here's how we set it up. This is how you define returning a tuple. You basically put parentheses around two variable definitions, and then you have your method name and then your parameters. So some of this is familiar logic. We're doing an out of bounds check. So if where you're trying to place the item, if any part of it is out of bounds of the inventory, it just shouldn't work. So we're going to return false and null. So false meaning no, it was not a valid placement, and null meaning we're not swapping anything out. And then we're going to define this overlapping item variable. So this is any time that you're trying to place an item, is it overlapping with another item? So it starts off at null, but then as we're for looping through the positions, this is the 0 to the item size X and 0 to the item size Y. So in case it is more than a 1x1, for looping through all those grid positions, we're going to create a variable called slot content of wherever that grid cell is. If there's something in that slot, meaning it's not null, then if the overlapping item is also null, then we'll set the overlapping item to the slot content. And then else if the overlapping item, so it's not null, but it's also not equal to the slot content, then that means that we're overlapping more than one item. So we're inside these two for loops that goes for the item that we have in our hand to see if it will overlap with anything else. And if we get to this inside this if statement, then that means that we have overlapped an item. We had a slot content was not null, and then we checked a new item, a new cell, and there was also an overlapping item already from a previous iteration of one of these loops. So that means we are overlapping more than one item. So that is a no-go scenario. So we're going to return false and null. False meaning not a valid placement. Null meaning we don't have an item to swap out, because can't swap out two items or just one of those items, because that space is still occupied by another item. And then if we get through all of these for loops and if conditions at that point, and we haven't already returned, then we're going to return true and the overlapping item. Now, it's possible the overlapping item is still null from the beginning, so that'll be a true null, but it's also possible that overlapping item has been set here in one of these other runs of these loops. And so if it is, it will be returned along with true. And so let's go back to where this is used. Can place or swap. We'll have a true here. So it makes us enter this if statement. And then there will be the item that we're swapping out. And then we'll go back and do that logic again. So that's it. That's all there is to it as far as the scripting goes. Okay, here we are again. We're going to go ahead and start the game. And I'm going to go down and find my item. Should have placed my character closer. There's a chest with some items in it. Here is my keys that I like to pick up. And a mushroom. And there's... So now I'm going to click on this mushroom and try to bring it over here. Obviously it can be placed anywhere there's all empty spaces. That should work, and it does. It should not be able to be placed over multiple items. If I click it where it overlaps with two items or three items, it just doesn't do anything. But if I place it where it overlaps with one item, it works. And I still have the other item in my inventory. I wish this were two different items. Let me put this one here, overlaps and places, and then I can put this one here. So now I'm going to pick up one of the keys, and I can place it, and it will swap. I can go ahead and swap again. Of course, I can swap a key. You can't really tell anything happened because of the way they look the same. But if I want to place the keys here, I can do this and this, Could put the keys all over to the left-hand side. And then if I go back and I try to swap the mushroom in for multiple keys, it will not work as it should, or as it shouldn't. Okay, that is our inventory item swap system that's built on top of our existing inventory system. Okay, thank you for watching LewyT Amusement Academy Part 32. As usual, you can get the source code and the GitHub gist linked in the description. If you have a question, drop a comment or join our Discord community to chat. If you learned something today, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, or share the love with your friends, frenemies, enemies, and even your nemesis. Next time, come back down to LewyT Game Lab where we will learn how to create digital life, but I haven't decided exactly what yet.